Hey everybody, welcome to Princess Friend, and I am your host, Princess Friend. Today's review is one that I've actually been really kind of working on. I've been excited to do it. It's taken me a little bit to get it out, mostly because I really wanted to listen and digest these songs here, but it's for 1-800-NEW-FUNK. Now, it was released on July 20th of 1994, and if you don't remember what 1994 was like, please don't forget to go and watch my Prince and the Internet video. The album was a compilation of songs from albums that were to be released. This CD was supposed to introduce us to a ton of amazing acts that Prince had found and were going to be on his label all around the world, and he was very, very excited to let us all know. So he's like, we're just going to release like a compilation, disc, and it's going to be awesome. Now, some of the tracks actually did end up getting released, but others really you can only find here on this CD. For instance, I'm pretty sure that that's why Nona Gaye is actually on here twice, because she had not only the song that she did with Prince, Love Sign, but also was working on her own album that also was never released. And I remember when this album was announced, I saw a commercial for it on TV. I flipped out. It was like, so it's 1-800-NEW-FUNK that I can actually call. It's a number, and I can actually order this album without going to the store. This is the future here, being able to order things via the phone. Again, it was 1994. It was revolutionary in 1994. Of course, when I got it though, I was kind of disappointed because Prince was really only on one track, and I kind of overlooked really kind of how good a lot of these songs are at the time, because I was very Prince focused, even though, that really wasn't what the CD was about. And honestly, I wasn't alone at the time. Entertainment Weekly said that it showcased Prince's label, Paisley Park Records. The album, quote, amounts to unintentional evidence of why the company failed, which is ouch. They rated the album a C+. The Independent described the album as a stopgap compilation of princely offshoots and cited Nona Gaye's contribution as being of primary interest. So I really think that a lot of people were expecting Nona Gaye to come out swinging. Really, this is where you can get a couple of the songs that she did with Prince, but otherwise that album never really saw the light of day. But let's go through the tracks, let's go ahead and discuss them, and we'll see where we're at, because there are a few gems on here. The first track, MPLS, is performed by a group called Minneapolis. And of course, this album never actually saw the light of day. It's pretty funky though. It's got a really good bass line. It's got a New Jack sounding beat. And there's a choir during the chorus. Like that stuff is like really, really cool. Prince was always really good, I think, at getting good performances out of the people who he produced. The song itself is about, Minneapolis and how funky it is and why it's the best place and, it's awesome and all that. But I feel that if the song was maybe a half step faster, I think it would have been better, because it feels fast, but then it's actually slow and it's kind of off-putting a little bit. But good song.
Hollywood, I'm stomping on the west side of Hollywood. I'm stepping to the north side of Hollywood. I'm stepping to the south side of Hollywood.
So Hollywood was released on George Clinton's Hey Man, Smell My Finger. Prince kind of outdid himself on this track. I mean, it's funky. George delivers a really great example of his dirty funk that only he can do, and the instrumentality on this track is actually pretty wonderful. All the layers really make this track sing, and again, it's one of the standouts on the compilation. So Love Sign was the main reason that I actually bought this CD. As with some others on the compilation, Nona Gaye's solo album never saw the light of day, making this the only place where you could get this song Love Sign. And it's a clever anti-gun song. The video was directed by Ice Cube, weirdly enough, because I don't think no guns when I think Ice Cube. The song is awesome though. I think it really highlights how well Prince and Nona Gaye's voices really work together. Plus the love sign thing was pretty cool too. You know, it's all just kind of clever. It's a really good song though, and I dig it. So I don't know if you knew that Maite had a solo album that Prince wrote everything for and produced and did all of that stuff. If you read her book, you know that it exists, but if you didn't, it's really one of those hard to find things. I think it was released in like Germany. I actually do have a review of that coming up soon, but this song was the public's first taste of her vocal talents. Is she actually a bad singer? No, I wouldn't say that. She's definitely not the best, but she's not bad. I mean, because she's a dancer, not a singer. In the end, she even admitted that in her book. She kind of did it because it was something for her and her husband to do together. This song also, If I Love You Tonight, was originally written for the Rebels project back in 1980. It had been covered by about 2 other people, and then Maite did it. And back in the day, Gail Chapman did it. There's an interview that I did with Gail where we kind of talked about this song specifically. I really do dig this version. I think Gail's was maybe slightly better, but it's a good song. So the Steels have been on quite a few Prince tracks, anywhere from the late 80s to the early 90s, and this was kind of their chance to get their own record deal from Paisley Park Records. And then, of course, their album didn't come out. So this song specifically, Color, is it's a cool kind of bluesy song. It's got some gospel blues in there, and it's about what it means to be a color. And, you know, obviously, in the end, it doesn't really matter. Race is a fallacy. But there's some really great vocal performances here. But I didn't know what else you would expect from the Steels because they're really great singers.
What are we? If we're not together? How do we make a life that's better? Yeah. Cause when we begin one another, check each other out.
So then Prince went ahead and threw Together on here, and that's from the New Power Generation. I did do a whole review of the Gold Nigga album, so you should go definitely check that out. It's Tony M. He's got a smooth rap. It highlights the talents of the MPG. And, you know, too bad that this album never really got picked up. Even though it was made and it was kind of released, but it was very low-key. I'll give a link in the description so you can go check out the actual review. It's a really fun romp through that album, though. So this singer, Marty Cox, was Minneapolis born. Prince found her, and you know what? Like, I really like her voice, so I can tell why Prince would have wanted to work with her. She's got a really good voice. They went on to create about 25 songs together, none of which were released. This one was recorded specifically for 1-800-NEW-FUNK in order to hype that other project and hopefully get that out. She did go on to do some other work, but not really much. It's sad because she actually has a really good voice, and I don't know, maybe she'll give another go of it. You never know.
Surely when the rain comes, you will be moved. Line that down. See the video. You will be moved. You will be when the baby makes.
So this is a gospel-y sounding song. I mean, what else would you expect from Mavis Staples? Obviously, it was written by Prince, performed by Mavis, and it was on her album The Voice, which I've also done a review for already. It's kind of weird that, like, I've done reviews for a ton of these songs. But suffice to say, it's a great song sung by a fabulous singer. So Madhouse was a project from Prince and Eric Leeds, and we all know how I feel about Eric Leeds. Their first two albums were tracks 1 through 16. It was 2 albums of 8. It was 1 through 8 and then 9 through 16, which is why this lone track on 1-800-NEW-FUNK is called 17. Madhouse was a project that Prince had done in about the mid-80s, but they had actually come back together in 1993 to record a few tracks here with Eric and Levi Caesar Jr. There were only 2 tracks that were really ever heard. This is one of them. I think it's really good, but I'm not really sure if it holds up to the previous Madhouse stuff, which I will be doing reviews for the Madhouse stuff. I just haven't gotten around to it, but you tell me what you think of this instrumental track. Here we get a solo song from Nona Gaye, and it's a good one. Again, actually really highlighting her pop voice. Again, is it the strongest? No, not really, but is it pleasant to listen to? Hell yeah, like she's got a good voice. I never really knew before doing this review that this was a cover of a Bobby Womack song. I love Bobby Womack, and here's an example of Bobby's version so you can hear the difference.
I had a love and I lost her. And no one can help me share the pain that you caused me. Oh, a woman gotta have it. I believe she's gotta know.
This version actually has a lot of really good saxophone on here too, and when I was listening to it, I was like, is that Eric? But no, it's a guy called Ken Homan, which, oh my god, like this guy's really, really good. So there you go. Shout out to Sonny T as well, who did the bass on the song. I mean, all around, great instrumentality. The vocals are good. I mean, it was just knocked out of the park. It's again, very strange that she was not able to come out with her own album. And then we end the album the way that we started, which actually fits because Minneapolis, the song, comes on first to let you know, hey, everything you're about to hear is from the MPLS sound. Then it ends with the reprise and saying, see, wasn't that great? And it's got, you know, some creative scratching on it. It's pretty short, but I think it was a good choice to go ahead and end it with this so that it kind of encapsulates it all into one package. So I think that was a good choice. So if this was a sampling of what Paisley Park Records had to offer, I'm definitely buying it, but there was always this thing about people sounding like other people, and a lot of fans would get indignant about that kind of thing. So you'd have Prince who would be producing these groups, and then their songs would sound like Prince, and people would say, hey, that just sounds like Prince. It's just like, yeah, like that was kind of the point. It's the MPLS sound. I mean, plus Prince was pushing away from his record label Warner Brothers, so it was actually much harder to try and get promotion and to get these acts signed, mostly because of the number of logistical issues that Prince was having at the time. He was having a hard time organizing and implementing a lot of what he was doing in his transition from Warner Brothers to his own operation. And I honestly think that that's the reason why only about half of these projects were actually released. And it's no wonder that, you know, the people whose albums were released were those people who already had a career before Prince. Everybody who Prince was trying to come out with new, those albums ended up not coming out. But the question is this compilation good? And I would say yes. Was it what people wanted at the time? I don't think so, which is why a lot of people didn't even know it existed. But it's really good now in retrospect. I'd probably give it a good 3.5 stars. But I would love to hear what you guys think. Don't forget to put down in the comments what you guys think about this album, 1-800-NEW-FUNK. Also, don't forget to support the channel at our Patreon at patreon.com/princessfriend. And check out our new Threadless store that has a bunch of new t-shirt, mugs, and all that stuff. And that's at princessfriend.threadless.com. And as always, may you live to see the dawn. Hey everybody, I hope that you really enjoyed that video. We're back with a new logo and new intros and new music, and we're going to have all the reviews, all of the discussions that has become kind of the staple of Princess Friend, and we're very excited to bring that to you. Stick around for the fun.